When I was a child, I lost my dad when I was 7 years old, and so I did go to church, but mostly for funerals. So throughout my life, I looked for different avenues to kind of grow past that, and so I found meditation and yoga and breath work, and was kind of always striving for that little bit of healing or enlightenment. Me and my partner have been trying to have a baby for quite some time, and we've been relying on the help of a fertility clinic. And so we found out we were pregnant on my birthday in November, and I felt absolutely compelled to go thank God for the miracle of life. So we started attending Southridge, and as the next couple months progressed, we got some unsolid news about the life of our baby that we were calling Freckle then. Then over Christmas and New Year's, the clinic closed. Right before closing, they told us, that the baby probably wouldn't make it. During that time is when my heart kind of just cracked open, and I really found God and leaned into Southridge. And in the new year, when the clinic reopened, we got the news that Freckle didn't make it. In the same moment when we lost Freckle, I really felt that God was with us in the room and in my heart and in my life. And just feeling that I don't have to be in control of everything anymore. And I feel so grateful that I did find God and Jesus in a darker stage of life, because I know even when life gets tough, I'll never turn away from Him.
So grew up very much non-religious. When I was in my late teens, I met a young lady who became my wife at the time. And so I went to church with their family. However, the marriage didn't last. When in the decline of the marriage, my relationship with the church went with that. Until just recently, when we were trying to become pregnant through fertility clinic. Susie and I, my partner and I, decided that we needed to start going to church. Susie had to have a miscarriage, and that was really, really tough on us. It was during that time, though, that God came to Susie, and through Susie and through her enlightenment, I was affected. And now we're here, wanting to be baptized and looking forward to the next stages.
I grew up in a Christian home, and my parents were always praying with me, reading the Bible, bringing me to church. When I was 7, my mom was putting me to bed one night, and she asked me a few questions about God and where I was at with my relationship with Him. Then she asked me if I wanted to pray with her to bring God into my heart and let Jesus live in my heart, which really shaped my relationship with God from the beginning, because then I started praying with Him more often and grew in a personal relationship with Him. I started reading a one-year devotional that was talking about 3 accomplishments that you could make for the next year and what to do to grow in a relationship with God more. And so I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I went and asked my mom, and she said baptism could be a good one. I was like, oh, okay. And then I started reading Acts recently. I was highlighting all the verses that stuck out to me and taking notes. One story in Acts that stuck out to me the most was about the eunuch in the carriage. He was reading part of the Bible and didn't really understand it. Paul came up to him and said, I can help you understand it. And then when he finally did, the eunuch said to Paul, what's keeping me from being baptized? There's water right there. So he got baptized. That one statement, what's keeping me from being baptized, made me think, what really is? I can get baptized because nothing's holding me back. And I want that joy, even though I already sort of have it, but I want to be able to know that I'm fully God's child and be able to spread the gospel, being God's disciple.
My faith life growing up, I've always gone to church, and I grew up going to church with my mom and dad. And then roughly around when I was 7 and 8, my dad died, which took a bit of a hit, but overall my mom has always kept me coming and going to church. The community has helped me so much with just everyone always being so supportive and super friendly, with always like inviting me to come do things, and I love it. I sat through it so much. Feeling the welcome has really made me feel like the love of God and how God is putting that love in everyone and making them feel so like lovely and nice. The moment I decided to get baptized, it was actually in prayer. When I was in a prayer with God, because I was just feeling really stressed, and how He made my life feel so much more calm and collected, and just got rid of all that stress and fear for me. For like baptism being the next step is I want to be able to put that love and faith into everyone else, with working with the little kids and working in the shelter, just being able to help everyone else in the community like they've helped me.
Church life was a part of my life as a child, with parents in the home, 2 Christian parents. As a kid, I didn't mind it at the time. There was probably a point in my life where I enjoyed it. I do believe like that is partially made the coming back to Christ easier for me. I don't know, I lost interest in it like as I grew older, became a teenager. Drugs and alcohol have been a big part of my life. As from a teenager. Led to me being a dishonest person and hiding my addiction from people, and that led me to homelessness. A few people I knew from wandering around the street, Jessica Martinelli being one of them, made the point that why don't you go over to Southridge? There's a place to stay there, there's good people, they'll feed you. That was around the beginning of my recovery and me making the changes in my life to get away from a life of addiction. Back then, there was a morning devotion going on every morning at 9 o'clock. I think that was a big part of like my early recovery and getting back into the Bible and bringing Jesus back into my life. I've came to make the decision to get baptized after a long time of procrastinating it, but I believe I need to make the step to further commit to Jesus and a public declaration to Jesus Christ Himself that I don't want to live the way I've lived in the past, but I want to put my full faith in the blood of Jesus Christ.